You like to be scared? Well, you come to the right place. Turn off those lights. Lock your doors. And get settled in for a long night. Creepy, spine-chilling stories. Welcome to Nightmares. My name is Paul. I live in this little one-horse town. I got a partner named Scott. We've known each other since we were kids. We have regular jobs, but we've been really getting into this paranormal stuff. And there's this old castle on the outskirts of town, literally in the middle of nowhere. Yes, it has its stories, and a lot of it seems to be true in the police records of a woman with her head missing. She had 2 children, 2 little girls. They ended up being missing. And they found one of the girls' bones about 40 years later, I would say. It's funny because everything around this castle won't grow. Everything looks dead. And sometimes you can see a light coming on. Or it looks like in the shadows, a lot of witnesses say they saw shadow people in this glow like of a fire and weird chanting. And throughout the years, they've had supernatural things. Investigators, a police officer went inside, thought he heard a woman screaming. Something was thrown at him. And he wrote in his report that a chair flew across the room. Most people around this town stays away from it. No one supposedly lives there. It's been abandoned for years. So Scott and I finally decided to take our equipment and go in this place and check it out. So we get in this place, like this draft, but yet all the windows are closed. We was determined to prove there was nothing going on in this place. We was for sure that was just all made up and all that other fun stuff. It just so happens when we got in there, within an hour or so, Scott said he heard someone talking upstairs. So we ran upstairs. Didn't see nothing. And the funny thing is, no electricity in this building, but yet people have said they saw a light come on. Hours go by. We may hear a crackle here, there. I called it house settling, whatever you want to call it. And then, at a stroke of midnight, what we were about to see would totally freak us out. We started hearing chanting, some weird shit. And this glow started coming through the bedroom window. We looked outside, saw these black clothed people literally like floating but around the pit fire, saying crazy stuff. I suppose it was some satanic stuff, but it sure did send chills down my spine. Then it so happened as me and Scott was looking out the window, we started hearing footsteps in the house coming close to us, but yet we didn't see nothing there. We started hearing things downstairs talking, weird things that we couldn't make out. Things started to change from curiosity to fear as we ran downstairs. It was like something invisible started throwing stuff at us, trying to catch us. Then this sudden suspense of having to run for our lives started coming. And how can you fight something that you can't see? Then something picked Scott up and threw him across the room. I ran into a bedroom. And whatever it was, it wanted to terrify us. It started banging on the door, twisting the doorknob like it was doing it deliberately to scare the shit out of me. Scott started yelling my name, but I was too afraid to open up the door. Started hearing this pounding outside the door as Scott was yelling for me. So I built up the courage, opened up the damn door. There was nothing there. My heart pounding through my chest. I ran as fast as I could, and I started yelling for Scott.
Scott, where are you, Scott?
And he said he was down in the living room.
I'm in the living room, man.
And
Down here in the living room.
they had this porcelain statue. He said the damn thing moved.
Damn thing was trying to bite me.
Blood started coming out of the walls.
Right in front of my eyes. I seen it.
And at that moment, we tried to get out, but the doors were locked. So Scott took a chair and busted out a window. Thank God we got out of there. Sometimes me and Scott sit and talk about what we saw in there. I will never, ever go into a place like that ever again. My name is Jonathan. Man, I am lucky to be alive. Me and Jenny and Terry and Ron, we found this little hidden, secluded little lake. And it was away from everybody. About 30 miles out of town. We saw a sign that said, "Keep out of water." But we figured, let's just keep in the riffraff, or maybe at one time or another some nutbag was in here. So we had fun playing in the water with, drank a few beers, playing with each other, and jumping, a typical day of swimming. But there's something that we didn't pay attention to. Until finally Ron looked up and told me,
What the hell is
"Hey,
that
man.
over there, man? Do you see it?
What is
Did
that
you
over
see
there?"
it?
So I look. It looked, I can't even tell you how it looked. I've never seen nothing like it. And with a snap of the finger, it was like the sun was going down. And I could have swore we just pulled up and it was only 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And this thing was, whatever it was coming its way towards us. And the funny thing is we was in the middle of this lake. And every time we made a
Come on, everybody. We gotta try and get to land as best we can.
effort to get to
Swim as
land,
fast as you can.
it tripled in its movement. Don't know how it did it, but it did. We didn't even know what it was. It grabbed Terry. It was like this gelatin thing, but yet it was like I don't know, like a leech. She started screaming, splashing in the water. Ron went to go grab Terry. As I yelled for Jenny to go to land as fast as you
Go
can.
to the land as fast as you can. Go.
Ron
Go. Don't look back. Go.
was trying his best to pull this stuff off, but it started wrapping
It won't
around
let her
Ron.
go. I'm trying my
And
best to
I
let her go. Oh,
Took
it's
off
got
as
me.
fast as I can.
Oh, it hurts.
There's no way in hell. Jenny got to land and she was screaming and crying. I finally got there. Terry was half bones, and this thing had these red eyes as it stood up in the water as it was wrapping around Ron. It sort of looked like a lizard, but yet it had this gel that was eating the flesh. And as he had these teeth and squeezing out their brains, we told the police. They found a piece of Ron's femur and Terry I found Terry. A piece of her foot. The cops scoped the area, and now it's under investigation. They never did find nothing. They keep asking me and Jenny. We're so afraid that we go by any water. There's no way in hell am I going in it. What was that thing that took our friends' lives? What was it? How did it get there? Luckily, one of the police officers believes us.